Ukraine highly appreciates Germany's efforts to restore European security, said President Volodymyr Zelensky following a phone call with Friedrich Merz, leader of the Christian Democratic Union and Christian Social Union Party and candidate for the position of Chancellor of Germany. This was their first conversation after the conservative bloc's victory in the Bundestag elections. However, President Zelensky had previously met with Merz. After the full-scale Russian invasion of Ukraine, Friedrich Merz visited Kiev twice.
We coordinated our positions. Ukraine highly values Germany's efforts to restore European security and protect lives in our country. We remember that Germany is the leader in supplying air defense systems to Ukraine and plays a crucial role in ensuring our financial stability. Agreed with Friedrich Merz on further cooperation and contacts, Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, on X social network.
The Christian Democratic Union and Christian Social Union Party of Friedrich Merz and the Social Democratic Party of Germany have agreed on a major credit package to finance defense and infrastructure. Merz announced the creation of a special fund worth 500 billion euros, describing it as an unprecedented investment. He emphasized that Europe and Germany must make significant efforts to strengthen defense capabilities.
The necessary decisions regarding the federal budget cannot be postponed. Therefore, next week, the parliamentary groups of the CDU, CSU, and SPD will submit a motion to the Bundestag to amend the basic law, allowing for defense spending beyond 1% of gross domestic product to be exempt from the debt brake. We aim to set up a credit-financed emergency program, a special fund of 500 billion euros for the next 10 years.
As reported by Spiegel, this is the first major breakthrough among political forces ahead of coalition negotiations. Minister of Defense of Germany Boris Pistorius called the decision a historic day for the Bundeswehr and for Germany. He believes these measures will not only modernize the army, but also strengthen the country's economy.
We are strengthening the economy and ensuring that the states also have more leeway in their tasks. We are sending a strong signal to the people in our country and to our allies. A corresponding resolution by the Bundestag would enable Germany and others to take on a leading role in strengthening NATO in Europe. Boris Pistorius, Minister of Defense of Germany, in an interview with Spiegel.
On March 5th, the Minister of Defense of Germany announced that arms transfers to Ukraine had reached their limits. At the same time, spokesman for the Federal Ministry of Defense, Michael Stempfler, emphasized that military support for Ukraine and strengthening Germany's defense capabilities must be addressed simultaneously. Berlin plans to unlock over 3 billion euros to support Ukraine. This aid had been planned for 2024 but was postponed. According to Friedrich Merz, he is in talks with ongoing Chancellor Olaf Scholz to resolve the issue of additional military aid to Kiev soon.
Olaf Scholz's cautious policy has led to Germany fading into the background, even though Germany's military aid to Ukraine ranks second after the United States. Merz's task is to truly enhance Germany's reputation within the European Union and in foreign policy.
Minister for Foreign Affairs of Germany, Annalena Baerbock, also demands the immediate unlocking of further aid for Ukraine. Moreover, she believes that at an emergency summit, EU partners should agree on a comprehensive financial package for Ukraine, and the European Council should make a decision on large-scale investments in EU defense. Reported by Alexandra Zaslavets, Kristina Dombrovska, UATV News.
The European Commission has introduced a comprehensive plan for rearming the EU and supporting Ukraine with 800 billion euros. The document includes 5 key initiatives. The first step is the release of state funds to finance the defence industry at the national level. According to President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, this will allow EU member states to increase defence spending without triggering the excessive deficit procedure and will free up to 650 billion euros over 4 years. The second step involves the creation of a new financial instrument that will provide EU member states with 150 billion euros in loans for defence investments. These funds will be used for the procurement of air defence systems, artillery systems, missiles, ammunition, drones, and anti-drone systems. This equipment could be quickly delivered to Kiev, emphasized the President of the European Commission. The third initiative will enable EU countries to use funds to increase defence spending. The fourth and fifth points of the plan focus on attracting private capital, expanding the investment market, and using mechanisms of the European Investment Bank.
Europe is ready to assume its responsibilities. Rearm Europe could mobilize close to 800 billion euros of defense expenditures for a safe and resilient Europe. We will, of course, continue working closely with our partners in NATO. This is a moment for Europe, and we are ready to step up.
EU leaders are planning to discuss European defence issues at an extraordinary summit on March 6th. According to Financial Times, one of the main topics of the meeting is the initiative to create a European rearmament bank, or a special fund for pan-European defence sector financing. Its primary goal will be to provide loans for military equipment purchases and fund industrial defence projects. The initiative is expected to involve the United Kingdom as well.
We see that Europeans understand that as long as Ukraine can endure, it means time gained for France, for Europe, to deploy a new system with more finances, more weapons. Protecting Ukraine also means protecting themselves and reducing the risks of an attack from the Kremlin.
The French president has urged EU countries to invest €200 billion in the continent's defence. In an interview with Il Foglio, he clarified that this amount will be needed at the initial stage. Emmanuel Macron also stated that EU member states should aim to increase defence spending to 3 to 3.5% of gross domestic product.
Ukraine has shown that it can survive, that it will be willing to fight, willing to defend its existence, because this is about Russia wanting to wipe Ukraine off the map. But it is also about Russia wanting to wipe the current European security order off the map. So we will have to collectively defend Ukraine, help Ukraine even more than we have done before.
Europe must not only increase support for Ukraine, but also tighten economic pressure on the aggressor state, say Kyiv's partners. This could also be part of Ukraine's security guarantees. According to Financial Times, discussions have already begun within the EU about the possible confiscation of frozen Russian assets in Europe if Moscow violates a future ceasefire agreement with Ukraine. Reported by Nikita Skoblikov, UATV News.